Welcome into Pirates Weekly, Pirates Insiders, Oliver Nissi and Leverett Ball. Again, we're on Zoom, and this week we're joined by Pirates quarterback Sean Brackett. Sean, thank you so much for coming on Pirates Weekly, the new show. And how are you doing tonight?
Doing well. Appreciate you guys having me. Shout out to Pirate Nation. Can't wait to see everybody again.
Well, yeah, and Sean, this show is also has a new sponsor. I'm not sure if you've heard. The Pirates Weekly is sponsored by Bud Light. Leverett and I have been talking a lot about it, and I'd say Leverett, the number one message has been, if you're going to drink Bud Light, you have to do it responsibly.
Absolutely. I got a little emotional when we introed them as our sponsor. And, as I pointed out, remember to take Uber instead of driving after you get done enjoying a nice case of Bud Light.
Absolutely.
You can't go to Pirates games if you're in jail. So
I'm going to say, man, like we got the Bud Light party zone, so drink responsibly, but we want you to get rowdy, but get home safe.
Exactly.
All right. Well, you heard it here first from your quarterback, Pirates Nation, Sean Brackett, again, joining Oliver Nissi and Leverett Ball. Sean, we're going to roll right into it. First question for you. Your workouts in the offseason, have they changed since October when we spoke, or are they kind of the same?
Not really. So, I'm always, want to be as prepared as I can be, especially with, the pandemic going on. And, from pretty much March on last year, it was, we were just waiting for the call again, we were playing or not. So even after that, now I'm talking to, agents and scouts and stuff like that. So, whenever you're in, the position that I'm in and that, a lot of the players on our team are in, it's kind of like you got to be ready at the drop of a hat. So, I'm working out constantly, taking care of my body constantly, because you never know when that phone call is going to come, and I just want to put your best foot forward. So, obviously now that it's a little bit colder out, now it's kind of like, trying to find facilities and indoor spots where you can go out and throw and stuff like that. But really nothing. It's been pretty much the same, taking care of my body, yoga, lifting, running, throwing, doing, watching film. So it's really more the same. And, it can get monotonous if you don't like it, but if you love it, it's just what you do. So it's pretty much everything's the same.
When you talk about, your off-season training program, obviously Tom Brady's not around anymore, but he was known for his routine when he was here in New England. Now, I have to ask you right off the bat, do you eat avocado ice cream?
So I've had it before. All right. So I've got the TB12 book, I think either 2 years ago or last year. So our friends actually made it specially for me to try it out. So it was good. I recommend it, but even for me, like there's a bunch of dates in there. And I guess dates have, a lot of sugar in it. So I'm kind of averse to sugar, but I'd say a relatively healthy alternative. So I'd say pretty good, but, Tom, take the sugar out and it'll be even better.
I got to try me some of that. I like dates. Dates are good. You're right. They do have a lot of sugar, but yeah, avocado ice cream. I think I actually got that same book for my birthday this year. So I got to read it still, but
man, you gotta get pliable. That's a big thing. Everything's about pliability.
So Sean, the roster is getting pretty full now. You were one of the first players to be signed, but we kind of have a good idea of what your offense is going to look like at this point. You got two returners at wide receiver, Thomas Owens and Rennell Hall. Owens obviously was there for the entire 2019 season, rookie of the year, and then Rennell Hall came in at the tail end. But you also have another wide receiver who was supposed to be there for the 2020 season in Darren Carrington, but that didn't happen. So how do you feel about your wide receiver core at this point?
I love it. That was kind of what me and Jawad were talking about when I was signing back is, I want to have the quarterback in place, the leader in place, because once you have the quarterback, then you can, recruit everyone else as far as skill players and stuff like that. So that was important for me to sign early. So we can, get that out of the way and then, start recruiting guys to come back on the ship with us. So, T.O. and Speedo and Rennell, those are guys obviously have a lot of familiarity with. Even, last throw of the playoff game. Well, the last two throws, one was the TO, which was a touchdown, depending on how you want to call it. And then the other last one was to Speedo. So, got a lot of faith in those guys, a lot of trust in those guys, a lot of confidence in those guys to make plays. Explosive players, smart guys. They know how to be a pro in the right way. Speedo's, coming off the XFL. TO, I think, was in the XFL too for a little bit, spring league. So those guys, they're vets now. So it's not like they're coming into, the indoor league now, have never played inside before. So they've been in the box before. So we're going to lean on those guys, to make plays for us early and often. So got a bunch of, I'm excited to get back to work with those guys. And as far as for Darren, we worked out, a little bit in the off season last year and gearing up for the season last year. And I am very excited to see him on the field. Big, tall, strong, freak athlete. The dude's jumping out the gym. So he's not only going to be a big time red zone threat for us, but I think he's going to be able to make plays over the field for us as well. So, that three right there, obviously we're going to even, sign a couple more guys, get some more depth, get some more explosiveness as well. But I'm very confident with those three guys. And, I'm happy we signed them, happy for them to be back, and just looking forward to get to work, man.
Yeah, and you're obviously a veteran guy. Been with the Pirates for a while, and like you said, some of the skill players you're working with on offense are guys you're familiar with, guys you've thrown to. But one thing that will be unfamiliar this season is your league, as the Pirates are moving over from the NAL to the IFL. Now, obviously, they're both indoor leagues. It's not as drastic of a change as if the Pirates are moving over to the XFL or AAF or some type of outdoor league. But do you think there'll be a little bit of a learning curve for the team moving over to a new league?
I think that there's going to be a little bit, anytime there's a little bit, rule changes, different leagues, this and that. There might be a little bit of, just catching up to do. But, by the time the season comes around, that first game comes around, I think we're going to be hitting the ground running. So just a little bit different as far as, rules and style of play and stuff like that. But for the majority of us, it's just back to what we do best. It's more like outdoor style football, just inside the box. So, we got a great running back on board already. I'm excited to be in the zone read with him, getting me a little bit more dual threat, more than years past. I think it's just a lot big like spacing, what I mean? So it's, especially in the indoor game, with such a condensed field and the field dimensions and stuff like that, it's all about spacing. I think with the guys we have and the roster we built and the offense that Coach Thompson's going to bring in, I think we're being explosive, and I think we're going to hit the ground running right away. So I don't expect any struggles after training camp. So obviously coming into training camp, new offense, new coaches, new league, yada yada yada. But at the end of the day, it's just football. So and it's I think going from outdoor to the IFL is a lot easier for guys than going from outdoor to arena league rules, where it's a little bit different as far as style of play and stuff like that. This is more, a lot of more running, zone read, play action, all that type of stuff. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. It's another challenge to face head on. And I think it's specifically for me, like it's what I do best. Like I've been doing this for my whole life, zone read and the shotgun, making plays with my feet. So I'm excited. I'm excited to, hit the IFL, hit it by storm and get us rolling.
Well, and one last question about the league change. Obviously I ask about how it's going to be for the team, but for you personally, you had a good run in the NAL, including winning an MVP in 2018 and putting up good numbers your entire time in that league. But is there any added motivation for you in your first season in a new league to continue to play at that high level that you played at in the NAL and show IFL teams who haven't gone up against you that, you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league?
Yeah, definitely. I'm motivated, every year. I always have a chip on my shoulder regardless. Even when I won MVP, I still felt like I was overlooked. So I'm pretty sure already a lot of those teams, a lot of those guys, they know who I am, they know how I play, but I'm definitely going to make sure that they know who we are, who I am as a player and what Mass Pirates football is all about. So, definitely, very excited, very motivated, and, been working. This is the longest offseason. We talked about it in the intro, longest offseason I've ever had. So, that's just even more time to prepare and get right and get ready to go. So, motivation is something that I always have near and dear to my heart. And, it's even the littlest things I can use for motivation. And as far as new league, it's even more so. So just, I'm chomping at the bit to get started.
I know last year was a really strange year for a lot of reasons. Obviously, the Pirates couldn't play, but you were also invited to the NFL Pro Day at Boston College. Unfortunately, that event couldn't take place also because of the pandemic. But as far as your goals in the next few years, do you still have interest in getting some more NFL workouts and showcasing your abilities? And would you say there's also an added motivation for you this season just to continue to put some good play on tape to send to teams? And I know for some players, if they've been with the team for a long time, they get comfortable. But when I've heard some of your interviews that you've done with Oliver and other media guys from the team, it sounds as though you really have that motivation to continue to advance. But what's your outlook and some of your goals as far as advancing beyond indoor football?
Yeah, so I'm definitely not one to ever be comfortable. So I'm always trying to improve anything and everything in my life, whether it's on the field, off the field, whatever. It was I think it was probably one of the best actual shots I had as far as working out from NFL teams. We had I think all 32 teams were scheduled to go out there and watch me throw at BC. Obviously, great timing with the pandemic coming around. But I'm always striving to be my best and striving to reach my potential. And I don't think I've reached that point in my career yet. I think, especially now I'm getting a little bit older, I'm 29. Physically, I think I'm in the best shape of my life. Mentally, I think I'm the best, as far as coverage recognition, the mental side of the game. I think I'm in the best, part of my career as well. I've heard someone call it like, you've entered the matrix, where it's like, your mental side and your physical side has really, they're coming together and they're on the same level. So, when you're coming out of college, it's all physical, don't really know as much mentally. And then, at the later stage in your career, you're physically falling off, but your mental is so much better. So I think I'm in the perfect spot right now, just mentally, physically, throwing the ball better than I ever have, can read a defense better than I ever have. So if I do have those opportunities to go, work out in front of an NFL team and NFL scouts or whatever, I'm going to take that. So, it's been a dream of mine to play in the NFL since, I was 3 years old. I've been blessed already to have, a pretty good professional career, but that's really the only thing that I can't, stick the feather in my camp of, I played for an NFL team. And, the majority of the Pirates have, played in the NFL, have been in a training camp, have been in a workout. And it's funny to me because those guys, when I'm working out with them, when I'm throwing with them, they're like, dude, like, you got it. You know what I mean? Like, you have what it takes. And, I know that. So sometimes it is frustrating. Just, you watch games on Sunday and you see some bad quarterback play and you're just like, man, like, what's it going to take? But I don't really ever think like that. Like, I got a bunch of people always texting me every Sunday, man, you should be out there, man, you should be out there. And that's, it's fun to work and to wonder and stuff like that. But, I'm always just controlling what I control. So right now I'm signed to the Pirates, and my job is to lead this team and be the best quarterback and be the best leader I can possibly be for the Pirates. And, that's really my goal. And as far as everything else, I think it'll just take care of itself. But, goal number one for me is always just to be the best possible version of myself for the Pirates. And I think everything else will just take care of itself as far as, NFL or whatever else.
Well, and it's cool that the Pirates support guys, who want to advance. If there are guys on the roster who can move up, Jawad's not going to try and keep them on the roster just to help the team win games. Jawad has said publicly that he wants his guys to move up. And I know around the time when you're going to do the BC workout, they did temporarily release you from your Pirates contract to give you more flexibility to potentially sign with other teams. So yeah, that's really cool. That the team is supportive of guys who want to move up, and that's awesome that, like you said, you're still working hard and, still pursuing that opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's like, Jawad is a smart guy, and he knows that that's good business. So, if one of us goes on, signs with our team, makes some great plays on Sundays, that's not only good publicity for the team, but that's good recruiting tool. So, come to the Pirates, ball out for a year, go get signed, and go make your millions off that. So I think it's he knows what he's doing. Got complete faith and complete trust in Jawad, building this organization, building this roster. And that it attracts talent. Good players want to play with other good players. So I think we've had a good combination of that in years past, and I think it'll just even be more so this year and in next few years as well.
Well, if you play in the NFL, obviously you'll give the Pirates a shout out, but you also have to give a shout out to Oliver and Leverett from the media team. I think we're really inspiring you right now. I'll take all the credit,
man. 100% extra motivation. You guys got front row tickets when all this COVID stuff is over.
Sounds good.
Absolutely. Yeah. And Sean, yeah, I mean, I know Jawad too. And, every time I go into his office, he's watching football. So I'm sure it'd be a dream of his at this point to be able to see you on one of those Sunday NFL games. But, you were talking, a couple minutes ago about always looking to improve. And you referenced him very briefly, but I want to bring him back up. And that is offensive coordinator Chris Thompson, one of the newer faces for next season. And I'm not sure if you know this, Sean, but, Coach Thompson has had a lot of experience coaching. And you probably do know this because you were talking about how, you really like to study up on everyone coming on
research, baby. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, he has a lot of coaching experience in the indoor game. And in 2017 and 2018, he coached MVP quarterbacks, one in the NAL and one in the Arena Football League. So I think that could be huge for you. I mean, you already an MVP quarterback, as we talked about earlier, but how do you feel like Coach Thompson can help you, reach that next level?
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Coach Thompson. Respected coach in the arena and indoor community. So already have had a few conversations with him. We're gonna get to work, right after the new year. So I'm excited. I think he has a great offense. Like I said, a lot of spacing, a lot of different things that we haven't necessarily done before, just because of the different rules in the NAL or AFL versus the IFL. But he has experience. He's coached some great quarterbacks, and I'm excited to get to work with him. And I like to put up big numbers in his offense. So again, that's another guy I'm excited to work with. Another just football junkie, loves the game, loves watching film, loves talking ball. So right up my alley. So I think we're gonna hit the ground running, and I think me and him are gonna be a good pair. Just in our brief conversations we've had already, I think we're already aligned to what we want to do. So we'll see it. We'll see on the field before you know it.
Yeah. What about working with Coach Pass? He's not a stranger to you because prior to taking on the head coaching job, he was working for the team in a different capacity. But last season, starting to sound like a broken record, all these different things that were canceled last year because of the pandemic, but last year was going to be his first season as head coach. And then obviously the team couldn't play. So now this season will be his first season as head coach. Like I said, he's worked with the team in the past, but how excited are you to see him in this specific role as head coach?
Yeah. Like I said, like we're already in it. What I mean? Like even though we didn't have a season last year, I think he just brings a level of experience and a level of professionalism that we need as an organization. So, he's somebody that I lean on, and I know that he leans on me, as kind of just a leadership role and getting the message across to the guys. And he like walks the walk, talks the talk. Like even now, like we'll see his ass in the weight room or working out, getting after it. And when you're a 3-time Super Bowl champ, that holds a lot of weight. So I'm excited, man. Like I'm excited to actually see him on the field. I want to see him in the meetings, and I think right away, just when you have that experience that he has and the resume that he has, it's gonna perk some guys' ears up a little bit, and just already have that respect just by looking at his resume. But even more so when you hear him talk and when you hear him address players and address the room and address the organization, he's an impressive dude. So excited to get to work with him. All of our coaches, I think, are top tier guys. And like I said, Jawad's done a great job of building the roster, building the coaching staff, and now it's our job just to put it all together on the field.
Sean, so Leverett and I were talking to Mick Moneyhoff. I'm sure you know him as well, the play-by-play voice of the Pirates. And Mick was in China with you and Jawad. And I believe Coach Rayshawn Kaiser, the defensive coordinator now, he was also out there. And we gauged Mick, he told us how he came to meet Jawad and how he got this opportunity with the Pirates. And I was wondering if you could kind of take us through your version of it. How you came to meet Jawad in China. And I mean, I'll tell you, Mick was speaking very highly of your play out there. He said that it was you and another quarterback on the Clipper team. And, he said that you definitely outperformed him. So maybe you could tell us that story.
So pretty much like we flew out from Boston. That's obviously closest for me. Jawad's from out here as well. So flew out, and, you kind of can notice another football player when you see one. So sitting on the gate, and he's like, yo, are you going to China? I was like, yes, I'm going to China. Like, are you going to China? He's like, yes. So I think we had like a connection in Chicago or whatever. So I'm not sure if I don't think we sat together, but pretty much he was like my traveling buddy from Boston to China. So get down there. Now we're playing. Now we're going all over the country. So it was a crazy setup. So we go there. We're in Beijing for 2 weeks, training camp. Jawad's on the team. I played, I think, 2 or 3 years in the AFL, so I know a bunch of the guys out there. And we'd be in Beijing for 2 weeks for training camp, play in Beijing, fly out the next day to a new city, practice there, play there, fly out. So it was like, the Chinese tour of arena football. But Jawad was just a guy that I always, I pride myself on my work ethic and all that type of stuff. And at every hotel, I'd be taking care of my body, lifting weights, going to sauna, what have you. And Jawad is another guy that I always see doing the same type of thing. So we just kind of built that bond and built that friendship, just two hardworking kids from, the Boston area. So great experience there. Come back home. Jawad was supposed to be on my flight. Didn't end up, something happened, couldn't get on the flight. So now we get back home. And then after that, like we would just always stay in contact, throw together, throw routes together, catch for each other. Just hang out a little bit and just build that friendship, build that bond. Went our separate ways. I played another year or two in the AFL. And then, I get a call from him and Coach Amir, our first coach back in, 18, said, we're starting a new team. We're going to be playing in the NAL, wondering what your interest is and, can we make this happen? We want you to be our guy. So, got the contract figured out and then kind of the rest of his history. So it really is just, I didn't know Jawad from Adam. And then you just see him at the gate at the Boston airport. And then, just build up a relationship and just build a friendship and build a bond, just, like the great game of football, just another football junkie, loves the game. Obviously, like you said, you go into his office, he's always watching football, has, his board of all the different guys, all the different things we got to take care of as far as the organization. And that was it. So, who knows if I'd be talking to you guys right now, if I never went to China or if Jawad never went to China or, this whole international feel to the game a little bit. But, it's funny how things turn out. It's funny how, these relationships form, but, I'm just happy that it happened. I'm very happy that, I met Jawad and that Jawad and his dad and all the teams, put this team together. And it's just turned out to be, a great relationship, great working relationship and, on and off the field as well.
Well, and you've had a lot of experiences, obviously China being one of them, but, you played on multiple teams, going back to college. We talked a little bit before we started about how you played at Columbia. And then, like you and Oliver just talked about, you played in China, you played in multiple indoor leagues in the US and you've had a lot of different experiences. And even going back to starting out as an Ivy League player, as I mentioned, I work with Harvard, and there are some Ivy League football players who get overlooked. When I work with Harvard, they're honestly more known for their hockey team than their football team, and more known for their academics. But going from maybe not necessarily, an SEC school or another top conference, but playing in the Ivy League, then overseas, multiple leagues in the U.S., maybe it hasn't been the most traditional path, but it's clearly made you the player you are now for the Pirates. But how do you think having all these different stops along the way in your football journey has benefited you?
I think you just hit on the head. Like, I take a little something from every experience that you have. So, there's highs and lows, there's bumps in the road, there's different things that occur. But you learn from every experience that you go through. I was a backup quarterback early in my career. Learned how to study, learned how to, be a pro, learned from some great quarterbacks, played under JJ, played under, Eric Meyer, Tommy Grady, like these, Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks. And, I didn't know anything about arena football. So now kind of shoes on the other foot now. Now I'm the OG, I'm the vet, and I'm trying to spread that same knowledge to the other quarterbacks, other guys on the team, other younger guys. But just every experience that you have is just something that molds you into the person I am today, into exactly where, like, I believe I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be, talking to you, playing for the Pirates. It is what it is. You know what I mean? So, it's like, it's a circuitous, route to where I am, but I wouldn't change it for anything, because who knows, if I went to another route where I'd be, good, bad, indifferent. But, I think I've had a great journey. I think, speaking in China, I think there's a Chinese proverb, the journey is the destination. So everything that I've gone through, it's been good, it's been bad. In football, it's been the highest of the highs, lowest of the lows. And I think, there's no other sport, there's no other game that can have you go through a journey like this other than football. So, I'm eternally grateful to play this game. I'm blessed to play this game. Have success, not having success, win games, lose games. But I think it all just comes down to the journey, man. You take a little bit of something from everywhere you go to, you learn a little bit from every situation you're in. And then, I think that's formed me into the man I am today, and to the player I am today. So wouldn't change it for the world.
Sean Brackett joining us on Pirates Weekly, Oliver Nissi and Leverett Ball, Pirates Insiders. Got a couple more questions for you, Sean. We're talking about the IFL, the new league that the Pirates are going into. And, you've talked about on this episode that you're a man of your research. So I'm going to quiz you right here. Do you have a team in the IFL that you're most looking forward to playing against? And perhaps that team has some defensive players that you may have played in the past, or yeah.
Got a few. I think, Spokane sticks out right away. That's basically Carolina Northwest. So we've had a lot of familiarity with those guys, Coach Back and Chuck at quarterback and those guys. So, I have a lot of respect for them. I think it's a good rivalry to have. So definitely, excited to go out there, play there. I played there before. I played there my rookie year, so I know Spokane, like, they have great fans out there. And again, depending on COVID or whatever, that was one. I think that might have been my first career win as a starter was in Spokane, and that place was rocking. Had 10,000 people in there. They love their football out there, so that's one I'm definitely looking forward to. Arizona, they've been a mainstay in arena football for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Storied franchises. They've had AFL championships, IFL championships. Same thing. They got a great fan base out there. They play in the same arena as the Suns and all that type of stuff. So it's nice going to like an NBA arena.
Yeah.
Played there before too. So again, have a little bit of familiarity there. But, I'm looking forward to a lot of them. Like Iowa, obviously, Coach Amir's out there now. Their history, Kurt Warner out there, a bunch of other, arena football greats, their original like AFL franchise. Well, not original, but, they've been around for a long, long time too. So I'm just excited, man. I'm excited to, go out to different places, and hopefully even not this year, even next year when all the teams are in, going to California, going to, all the Arizona teams, going to Texas and all these other places that I've never been to. I'm just looking forward to that. But, at the end of the day, it's business and, we're coming to win football games, but it is cool to just travel around a little bit, see new places, play in new arenas, talk crap to some new fans and have them remember, Sean Brackett, quarterback, and the Mass Pirates come into your trap and take over your trap. So looking forward to it. And so I think, those two definitely stick out, but looking forward to really every game.
Are you a big talker? I know the reputation is more for the defensive players to talk, but are you a talker, in the heat of the moment when you're out there?
I vary. I feel like sometimes, especially after a big play, I will let it loose a little bit. But it's more just like motivating my team than like saying like you suck, because I have respect for everyone that puts the pads on and goes out there on the weekend, and everyone's a professional, so I'm not gonna say you suck to another guy that's getting paid to play football, even though I probably do think that, just because that's how my mentality is on game day. But it's more just gassing my team up, gassing myself up, and just having fun with it. It's everyone talks about like talking crap or whatever, but I have fun playing football. Like, I just love playing football. I love throwing the football, in my backyard, on the beach, wherever I'm at. If I can throw a football, I'm going to throw it. And, to be able to have the opportunity to go out there and, throw footballs and throw touchdowns in front of fans and get paid to do it, man, it's awesome. So I think my crap talking comes more from a place of just like, I'm excited and I'm like having fun. Like, I am having fun. Like, it's a kid's game. You know what I mean? Like, kids play football, and now we're grown men playing football, getting paid to do it. So I kind of still keep that that kind of joy inside of myself. And that's Breezy versus Sean. I feel like when it's game day, like, Breezy comes out, gets a little wild from time to time, but I just have such a love for the game and such a love for my teammates, and I think that just comes out on game day.
Well, and you mentioned, you like to fire up your teammates. I saw some of the clips in the Now or Never documentary, you firing up the guys, and you'd be proud of me, before you came on the Zoom when we were getting mentally prepared to interview you, I told Oliver, you better buy the bleep in.
Buy in, man. Buy in.
Yeah.
I got some heat. I got some heat from the family members for, not really PG-13 language, especially when.
Neither was Jawad.
Yeah. Especially when you're a teacher at your other job. So
yes.
It was a little interesting, but if you want the real deal, you're gonna get the real deal. And that was, I don't think that was 100% the real deal.
Yeah.
That could have been a lot worse. But that's just the passion for the game. Sometimes you gotta, fire those guys up. Sometimes you gotta calm them down. But it's all for the love of the game.
No question. That was a fun documentary to watch. No question. It gives people that look as if almost you're a player in the locker room. You get the unfiltered, a lot more unfiltered than, if you're doing an interview with the sideline reporter or whatever. That was the raw behind the scenes look. No question.
I got one more question for you, and then we're going to wrap up this edition of Pirates Weekly. So we just passed the Christmas and the holiday season, and I'm not sure if you peeped on our social media, but I had a bunch of other Pirates answer this question. I want to send this question your way as well. What's your favorite Christmas movie? And is there one movie this year that you ended up watching more than other movies compared to other years?
I like Christmas is like one of my favorite times of the year. Obviously, just the holiday spirit and all that, but like even like Christmas songs, like my music genres go like rap and hip hop. Close second is like holiday music. So like I'm old school, like Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra. Then you got all your new joints too. So I'm all about it. But this year, like always when I was younger, we used to watch the old like Claymation and Rudolph.
Yeah.
So that's a classic. I didn't watch it this year. I'm kind of scared to like watch it to see if it was like if it ages very well or not, because you know when you're younger you see something and then when you watch as older, like that is terrible. So I think it's better in my memories than in actual reality, but we'll see. But Elf is the go-to, you know, always, you know, got one-liners for days. Will Ferrell's a man. Even got, you know, your boy Tyrion Lannister on there. So
Yeah.
Elf is definitely the go-to. We watched Home Alone. That was the first time I've seen that in a long, long time. So I think we watched 1 and 2. So that's good. See boy beating up Joe Pesci. So yeah, I think Elf is always the classic go-to one. So I would say Elf is definitely number 1 on the list.
Yeah, those are 2 gems right there. And Rudolph, that's another one. I haven't seen
Rudolph,
that in a
can't
while.
forget Rudolph. I know.
But Sean, thank you so much for coming on the Zoom call with us, Leverett and I. It's been great having you on Pirates Weekly. Pirates Weekly presented by Bud Light. Sean, hopefully we will talk to you again this off season at some point. But hey, we're getting close, man. We're getting close to when everybody arrives in March, and I'm sure you're getting pumped up as Leverett and I am. But that's going to do it. We're going to sign off. Sean Brackett.
Let me do let me do a plug real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody go out, get your Breezy QBs t-shirts. We got like 4 or 5 out there. You can get t-shirts, any color, sweatshirts, whatever. Instagram, sbreezy10. Breezy QBs is the business page. Appreciate you guys. Let's go Pirate Nation.
All right. There it is. Go out and get Sean Brackett's apparel. That will do it on this episode of Pirates Weekly. Leverett Ball, Oliver Nissi, Sean Brackett. Again, thank you so much. Pirates Nation, we'll see you next time.